Thanks for staying with us. Bill O'Reilly in a Weekdays with Bernie segment tonight. So what about the New York Times criticizing soldiers who have criticized Sergeant Bergdahl? Is that legitimate journalism the way it has been reported? Join us now from North Carolina, the purveyor of BernardGoldberg.com, Mr. Goldberg. So let's take the journalism first. Times calls Bergdahl's unit troubled, but backs it up by pointing out they're wearing cut-off T-shirts and bandanas, and then it mentions a lieutenant who was dismissed, doesn't say what for, doesn't say when it happened. Is that enough to warrant a front page expose?
No. Let's go over this step by step. The headline is, Bergdahl was in unit known for its troubles. Okay, what were the troubles? The first one is the one you've mentioned tonight, and that, word for word from the Times, they were known to wear bandanas and cut-off T-shirts. That's a crime against humanity, right? Then another one is their observation post was inadequately secured. That might be serious. And the third is that the first platoon leader was replaced because he didn't inspire the troops. That's not the troops' fault. That's the leader's fault. Now, that's pretty much it.
But let me stop you right there. When you make an accusation, if you're a journalist, that security at a forward operating base was lax or something wrong with it, you got to back it up.
Well, I guess you could make the case that it was lax in that Bergdahl,
but they don't back it up at all.
No, but I'm saying Bergdahl walked out undetected, but let's not get bogged down in that. So that's pretty much the extent of the allegations, and even the Times acknowledges that this isn't uncommon at outposts throughout Afghanistan. So the question is, why did they do this story? I think they did the story to suggest or to imply that Bergdahl isn't really responsible for whatever he did. Certainly, he's not completely responsible for whatever he did. Because if he's in a raggedy unit, their word, not mine, if he's in a raggedy unit, a unit that has lax security and lax discipline because the guys are wearing cut-off T-shirts, then what do you expect? They're trying to put this into a certain context to take the blame, or certainly all of the blame, all of Bergdahl.
So let me get this straight. So the New York Times says because guys were wearing bandanas, that's okay.
Ridiculous.
It's okay to desert.
It's ridiculous.
So if I look at a Jimi Hendrix album, then I can go AWOL. I mean, come on, how absurd is this? You know what the real reason is, Goldberg?
The real reason is they're covering for President Obama.
Thank you.
That's the real reason.
That's right.
But how do you got to do it in a certain way? And what I'm saying is they're doing it by trying to take the blame off of this guy that Obama got freed, and I have no problem with him getting the guy freed, but to suggest that whatever he did, whether he was a deserter or worse, it really wasn't his fault.
Not his fault.
It was part of the unit.
You're going to have to explain that real fast to me. You don't have trouble with the president getting him free in return for the 5 war criminals? You didn't think that was over there?
No.
Yeah, I don't want you to get in trouble here.
No. What I'm saying is one could make a case that you get your guys out and we discuss what he did later. But it's perfectly legitimate, and this is what a lot of liberals aren't willing to accept. It's perfectly legitimate to say, was it a good deal or not? What if the deal was to release Khalid Sheikh Mohammed and the 5 guys?
Sure.
Would that be legitimate? I mean, at some point, you have a right to say it wasn't a good deal.
And it wasn't. Real quickly, I didn't mean to smear a military family, when I...
Right.
Okay. I guess all I was doing was saying the presentation, I just wasn't comfortable with it, and pointing out the facts of the presentation.
Let me quickly make 3 points. And I don't mean to embarrass you on point 1. I know you off the air. There's no way in the world you would smear a military family. I don't think you'd smear anybody, frankly. That's number 1. Number 2, well, let me get right to number 2. The term smear campaign that was used by CNN, the guy on CNN, is precisely the term that was used all weekend long by Democratic strategists on television. So he's singing out of the same songbook.
Right.
Here's where you and I disagree.
Real
I'll
quick.
be very brief.
Real quick.
Here's where we disagree. You said he looked like a Muslim. He doesn't look like 95% of American Muslims. He looks like the guys from Duck Dynasty. He looks
right.
like the Amish. He looks like the guys who ride motorcycles in the Pacific Northwest. He looks like Hasidic Jews. I think what you meant to say, Bill, is that he looks like the Taliban.
Okay, and they're Muslim. Bernie Goldberg, everybody. Waters on deck. Goes to Haley.